I'll spit a rap, you can figure what the message is. I've learned a couple lessons, doesn't mean I'm recommending it. A younger crim will talk about a life they're meant to live, when an older crim will live a life they wish they never did. Life is shit when you're locked down and can't move, so try to mind your business, you'll be lucky if you pass through. Well, you could run your mouth while you're thinking that you're hard too, but it can get pretty fucking slippery in the bathroom. A lot of people say that they will never come back. If I only had $1 for every cunt that said that, said they shoulda, woulda, coulda done that and done this, but then they come back to jail and they never done shit. A man can risk his freedom for the woman he loves, hustle anything he can just to give her enough, but as soon as he's locked up, she'll start breaking his trust and fuck his friends to make sure she doesn't pay for her drugs. You could label us as a crimson, but if shit was different, you could twist the system and spend a bit of time in the midst and thinking this sick addiction gives you Risdon Wisdom. You could label us as a crimson, but if shit was different, you could twist the system and spend a bit of time in the midst and thinking this sick addiction gives you Risdon Wisdom. Brothers turn on each other for being an addict, while both the missus sit at home and still pay for the habit. The best friend can say he's got your back, you take it dishonest, but when you're locked he's hitting up your missus, breaking the promise. So you can count the minutes ticking, you can feel them pass. In that time you'll find out who your real friends are. Some will say they will visit to make sure you feel better, but they never end up even bothering to send a letter. Be careful who you share it with, the what that you're believing in, cause a lot of snakes will bite the hands that have been feeding them. They're acting like they're pushing when all they do is sit up, but don't give up the day job of being a fucking giver. Money can make the whole world go round, but that bube train makes a whole yard zone out. So you better pay your debts or get your teeth knocked out, and you better play the song through your speakers loud. You could label us as a crimson, but if shit was different, you could twist the system and spend a bit of time in the midst and thinking this sick addiction gives you Risdon Wisdom. You could label us as a crimson, but if shit was different, you could twist the system and spend a bit of time in the midst and thinking this sick addiction gives you Risdon Wisdom. You think you're politically correct to use that to excuse the fact that you're rude in public, acting arrogant too. If you don't say please or thanks, your mood has to improve, cause there are murderers that have better manners than you. And there's some that can sound pretty fucked up, eh? Many ways you could say the world's a fucked up place, when good people are homeless and don't complain about the bad shit, but pedophiles are protected and paid with your taxes. What a joke, you could try to see the differences when the crims are less corrupt than the fucking system is. They will try to take control of them, pretend to give a shit, but let them turn and fight each other over just a bit of spit. It's a cold world that keeps spinning and turning. I'm just hoping you don't have to go to prison to learn it. And Martin Bryant's guilty, that's a fact you have to know, but now I know for a fact that he didn't act alone. You could label us as a crimson, but if shit was different, you could twist the system and spend a bit of time in the midst and thinking this sick addiction gives you Risdon Wisdom. You could label us as a crimson, but if shit was different, you could twist the system and spend a bit of time in the midst and thinking this sick addiction gives you Risdon Wisdom.